First of all, dear America, appreciate your allies. After all, you don't have that many. And dear Europe, spend more on your defense, because everyone respects an ally that is well prepared and equipped. Money is important, but genuine solidarity is even more important.
Arguably, those who haven't paid the bills always say that money's important, but solidarity is more important. Well, this is the heart of President Trump's, some would say, quite legitimate complaint. Now, under the NATO agreement, members are committed to spend 2% of GDP on defence. Of the 29 members, only 5 actually meet the requirement of 2% or more. You can see the green ones, the United States, the United Kingdom and some of the northern countries. Now, the problem is NATO says most will meet the target by 2024. But to put this in perspective, look at the countries that pay less than 1%, and you're talking about Belgium, Luxembourg and Spain spend less than 1% on defence at the moment. The president's complaints aren't new, and he's not the only one making them, as CNN's Anna Stewart reports from London.
It's US President Donald Trump's biggest gripe with NATO.
23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they're supposed to be paying for their defense. This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States.
After Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, NATO members pledged to spend 2% of their annual GDP on defence by 2024. The US and the UK do, but most don't, including Germany and Canada.
President Trump has a point when it comes to defence spending, because we have not a fair burden sharing in the alliance now. The US is paying more than 70% of total defence spending in the NATO alliance.
The US has long pressured its allies to open up their wallets.
And that's why every NATO member should be contributing its full share, 2% of GDP, towards our common security. Something that doesn't always happen. And I'll be honest, sometimes Europe has been complacent about its own defense.
Defence policy expert Bastian Gigerich says spending more on a military isn't quick or easy.
You can't just put a next-generation fighter jet on an airfield and assume that everything around it will just happen. You need to train people, you need to provide support structures, you need to put a lot of pieces in place to do this.
For some allies like Germany, it would need to almost double its defence spending. In 2017, the country spent about 1.1% of GDP on defence. To reach 2%, it would have needed to spend an extra $40 billion. The result?
I think what we would be looking at is a somewhat larger German military, a fully modernized military that is re-equipped across air, land and sea. To be frank, even if you started that now, right now, it will probably take a decade to achieve.
It's a scary thought for Germans. The country shrunk its military in both scope and manpower after the Cold War. And Gigerich says spending more on defence to please Trump isn't a popular position.
The more it becomes an issue of spending money for Trump, the less likely you will see European member states increase their spending, actually, because that's not a political argument that you're currently winning.
Now Germany says it's pushing to get to 1.5% by 2024, with the goal of eventually hitting the NATO target. It's planning to hire 20,000 soldiers and more staff to fight cyber attacks. It's not the only ally changing its tune on defence.
All allies have stopped the cuts in defence spending. All allies have started to increase, and the majority of allies have put forward plans on how to reach 2%. So we are really moving in the right direction.
It may not be fast enough for the US president. Anna Stewart, CNN, London.